Hello, this is The Daily Dad, currently in Las Vegas. You know, some people come because of a convention, others come for the gambling, some come for the sporting events, and others come for the concerts and the shows. But I come for the food, the chance to try an exciting and innovative restaurant, the chance to see food become culinary art, and the chance to explore a city where Epicurean adventures abound. So I'm really excited to partake in a new adventure today. It's a tour for foodies and gourmands and chowhounds alike. This is The Daily Dad, and today we are going to review lip-smacking foodie tours. By the way, let me backtrack just a little. Lip-smacking foodie tours actually offers a variety of options and tours, with some being quite over the top. You can visit the finest steakhouses that Vegas has to offer. You can be shuttled around in grand style in a limousine. You can even add on a nighttime helicopter tour. But today, we're going to go with their most popular tour. It's their afternoon tour called Afternoon Culinary Adventures. It's a Wednesday afternoon, and there are just 5 diners, including me. There is a husband and wife spending an afternoon together, as well as 2 best friends, where one is treating the other to a rather nice birthday gift. Say hello to Thomas, our tour leader. While the tour will be 95% about the food, Thomas does take time out to share lots of fun facts about the Venetian, because this is where a majority of our tour will take place. Hey, did you know that the canals on the inside of the hotel hold up to 273,000 gallons of water? Once we enter the Venetian, we are given an outline of the restaurants we'll be visiting. Interestingly, the lineup of restaurants isn't published on the Lip-Smacking Foodie Tours website. I'm not sure if it's because the company wants to create an element of surprise for the guests, or if it's because the lineup of restaurants change periodically, just as the dishes offered might change due to seasonality. But I am liking the fact that each restaurant features a different kind of cuisine. All right, let's get started. Andiamo. And we are now at our first stop, which is Sushi Samba. As we approach the entrance, Thomas meets up with the hostess to announce our arrival. We are then immediately seated at a table that was already reserved for us. If you ordered the drink package, those were brought out to the table very quickly. Now, some of the restaurants we will be visiting will provide a souvenir menu of sorts regarding the food that will be served. Sushi Samba, though, didn't provide one, so whatever would come to the table would be a surprise. Oh, and surprises can be a good thing, as you can see from the medley of goodies that came out of the kitchen. Thomas, our guide, now goes to work as he eloquently explains each dish, much like the kind of show and tell you get when you go to visit any fine restaurant. However, it's Thomas who is doing all of the explaining, and he is just as confident in his delivery as probably any career waiter. We learn at some point that Thomas had been a restaurateur for quite a few years before joining Lip-Smacking Foodie Tours, and he is one of 6 employees that run the entire business. That's quite the success story. You know what's another success story? It's the crispy taquitos with yellowtail, the clear favorite amongst the 4 dishes. It's got a limey creaminess layered on top of fresh yellowtail, and it practically melts in your mouth. But the taco shell wafer adds another dimension of texture to make this a playful combination of deliciously light and crisp. I know you're probably hoping that I comment on the rest of the dishes here, but this isn't a restaurant review. Again, as I'm eating and listening to Thomas, I'm also thinking at the same time about whether this foodie tour is doing things right. It's not just about whether the food awakens your taste buds. I believe a foodie tour should also be about experimentation and innovation. You know, an opportunity for the chef to expand both our minds and our palates. So that award would go to the Neo Tokyo Big Eye Tuna Roll, or Mebachi Maguro. I am generally not a fan of red tuna. Its texture is very firm, kind of like steak, and it has a pretty strong flavor. but this one is infused with tuna cheek. I don't want this to be a class you might take at Sushi University, but let's just say that this added ingredient transformed the steak-like tuna into a melt-in-your-mouth treat. I do want to point out that we were all seated in a horseshoe-shaped booth. I think certain body types would find this seating arrangement a bit uncomfortable, and I wished that we had a normal table with pull-out chairs for maximum room and comfort. Anyway, we only spend about 30 minutes here. In fact, every stop is about 30 minutes long, but with only 5 diners today, 30 minutes is plenty of time to savor each bite, imbibe your drink, and to banter with your fellow guests. By the way, I would definitely come back to Sushi Samba, and the tour is off to a great start. Where are we going next? It's Sugarcane, a stylish restaurant that, according to their website, features modern American fare. But that's not really accurate when you look at the souvenir menu that had been provided. Yay for souvenir menus, by the way. And as you can see, it's a farrago of appetizers that lean heavily into Japanese, Thai, French, and Mediterranean influences. Now, admittedly, if this was a traditional restaurant review, I might wonder about this restaurant's lack of food identity. However, as part of a foodie tour, I see this restaurant as something of an elaborate test kitchen and welcome the global variety of goodies coming to our table. Now, all the diners agree that our favorite item is the bacon-wrapped date. I mean, who doesn't love bacon? But the secret ingredient here is the manchego cheese stuffing. The cheese itself can be described as fruity, nutty, tangy, and sweet. It has a pretty high fat content, which contributes to its rich flavor. However, the winner of the Innovation Award here is the pig ear pad thai. Pig ears? Yes, you read and heard that correctly. Crispy slivers of fried pig ears basted with yummy, sweet, spicy sour sauce. It's as absurd sounding as it is tasty, kind of like crispy bacon drizzled with honey hot sauce. Wow. Well, thumbs up to the chef here for his creativity, and having a chance to try some new and exotic fare is integral to a foodie tour. Wouldn't you agree? Now, would I come back to Sugarcane? Yes, but probably for their brunch, as that menu looks a bit more tempting than their lunch menu. Still, a solid restaurant. It's the type of restaurant that a foodie tour should include, and my tummy and taste buds are quite happy. Next up, it's the Greek restaurant Estiatorio Milos. And I'm telling you that my tummy and taste buds are about to become ecstatic. Even standing outside of the restaurant, I can see that this place is oozing with scrumptiousness and sophistication. Please take me to my seat. This is a showstopper of a restaurant. The bar area looks eye-catchingly modern. For regular diners, there's a fish market where everything is the fresh catch of the day. There are specialized grills to cook the fish. I only have one request. Please bring out the food. By the way, here is the menu of what we will be enjoying. And like clockwork, the servers arrive at the table with the food. Thomas now goes to work serving portions to the guests. And I'll give you a few moments to take all this in because this was just a whole other level of wow. it's unanimous. We were all enamored with the Mediterranean charcoal broiled octopus. In fact, we all said that we don't normally eat or even like octopus, but this was unlike anything we've ever tasted. It's not at all rubbery or chewy as one might think. The Greek preparation style is unfancy, incorporating just a handful of seasonings plus a healthy serving of olive oil. But the tentacle segments were firm with a tender interior, and there was a buttery smooth delivery in every bite. Honestly, this was a revelation. So the Mediterranean octopus was both the unanimous favorite and the winner of the Innovation Award. Somehow this restaurant had opened our minds and our palates to octopus. And again, that's what a good foodie tour should be able to do. This is a restaurant that I would definitely go out of my way to have a meal the next time I'm in Las Vegas. Kudos to Lip Smacking Foodie Tours for getting Estiatorio Milos onto the tour program. It's a gorgeous place to dine. The presentation exemplifies culinary art, and people who aren't otherwise fans of eating octopus or eating whole tomatoes or eating eggplant and zucchini will have those beliefs challenged. Please, can I have some more? In my opinion, Estiatorio Milos receives a perfect rating of 4 chef's kisses. Mwah, 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 and mwah. And now we're heading to the finish line. It's the 4th and final restaurant of this fine tour. Everything has certainly been running well, great in fact, up to this point. Our final stop is Cipriani, which is an Italian restaurant on the north side of the Wynn. As we arrive at our table, the food has already been delivered and the presentation is just as delicious looking as you would expect from a restaurant at the Wynn. A souvenir menu, though, was not provided, so please allow me to do my best Thomas imitation for you now. My friends, we present to you first tagliolini with ham baked in bechamel sauce. This particular sauce can be described as creamy decadence. Also, frito misto, which includes both calamari and medium-sized shrimp. And now, beef carpaccio, which, as you may know, is raw beef sliced paper thin. Fun fact, did you know that beef carpaccio was invented by Giuseppe Cipriani? As the story goes, we'll need to go back in time to the 1950s and to his original restaurant in Venice, Italy. A countess had entered his establishment asking to dine on raw meat, actually kind of a recommendation from her doctor. So Cipriani created a meal of finely shaved beef with a rich creamy sauce. The swirling red and white colors on the plate reminded him of the paintings of the famed Venetian artist Vittore Carpaccio. The name stuck, and the rest is culinary history. By the way, that Carpaccio anecdote is courtesy of the Daily Dad with some help from Wikipedia, but that is totally the kind of amusing tale that Thomas would convey. But of course, in a way more jovial manner and in a nicer baritone voice too. However, when he does speak, I can actually hear angelic music in the background. Now, the Innovation Award here does go to the Carpaccio. That said, I think we all found raw beef, whether it was served in the form of carpaccio, steak tartare, kit pho, to be somewhat of an alien concept, so that dish, unfortunately, was left mostly untouched. Regardless, being presented with something like carpaccio was definitely gastronomically adventurous, so kudos here for the attempt to open our minds and our palates to raw beef, though unsuccessful. Oh, and what about our unanimous favorite? That actually came at the end of the meal when they brought out their excellent homemade vanilla meringue cake. This was also the definition of angelic. Where's that music? Ah, yes. Incredibly moist, implausibly delicate, not very sweet, very memorable. Oh, so good, so good. I actually had 2 slices. Some of the other diners then gave me the side eye, and then I had a 3rd slice just to show them I didn't care. With that 3rd slice of cake in my happy tummy, it's time for some observations and then my final thoughts. Most importantly, I want to thank Thomas. He's part tour guide, part raconteur, part host with the most, and all class. He's sharing backstory about the restaurants, providing show and tell about the food, ensuring drinks are delivered quickly, keeping everyone happy, and watching all of us eat without eating a yummy morsel himself. The tour was certainly livelier thanks to him, so I just want to remind everyone to please consider giving your tour guide a nice gratuity at the conclusion of the tour. The price you pay on the website does include all taxes and gratuities for the restaurants. But again, remember, take care of your tour guide. As for Thomas, he's not just the engine that could, but he is also the engine that does. Do keep in mind that all menu items have been pre-selected, so think of this as a fancy schmancy potluck at your super rich aunt's house. But also keep in mind that with 15 dishes being introduced over the course of the tour, and with a tour that can conceivably hold up to 25 people, there's always going to be a chance that something will hit the table that someone may not enjoy. I also wanted to mention that I was a paying customer on this tour. This is not a sponsored video in any way, and all opinions shared are certainly my own, including my opinion that I was not a fan of the hamachi crispy rice. Did you order the drink package sold separately? In case you're wondering what happens to your alcoholic drink if you can't finish it in time, the restaurant will pour it into a paper cup and you can inconspicuously leave without raising an eyebrow. But I'm not sure what happens after Milos when you could conceivably have 3 unfinished drinks, but only 2 hands. Now, how walkable or not walkable is this tour? I spoke to Thomas and he said that the tour is ADA compliant, but I would caution those with a mobility issue. You are definitely going to get a workout. We're going to be walking over 12,000 steps, and the final leg of the journey takes us up and down escalators, and I'm not 100% sure if all of the nearby elevators were operational. The walking pace is moderate, and you should definitely be wearing sneakers or comfortable walking shoes, as you'll be walking just under a mile in total. Finally, I'm hoping that lip-smacking foodie tours might consider finding a new restaurant partner to be their 4th and final stop, preferably somewhere in the Venetian, with at least 25 restaurants, some renowned but most well-reviewed, inside the Venetian Palazzo complex. There really isn't a good reason to walk all the way to the far side of the Wynn. Moreover, the tour should really end at one of the 3 restaurants within the faux St. Mark's Square. Wouldn't that be a great way to end the tour in a location like that, bustling with energy and filled with eye candy? Just a suggestion. My final thoughts? Listen, ask me once or ask me 1,000 times. I have nothing but positive things to say about this experience. The restaurant choices were eclectic. Several of the dishes were boundary pushing. Social butterflies and even introverts would have a great time, and there was never a boring moment. Moreover, here's a big reason why I recommend this experience. Las Vegas is not really known for its plethora of afternoon activities, but this option is a standout. There are tons of nighttime activities vying for your attention and time, but I bet it would be difficult even for the seasoned Las Vegas visitor to list 5 things you can do in the afternoon besides hanging out at the pool, playing in the casino, and sleeping in late. Ultimately, this was a great way to spend an afternoon exploring a little bit of Vegas while expanding our culinary horizons. So a big thumbs up from the Daily Dad for lip-smacking foodie tours, but also a subtle reminder that there is room for improvement. This is the Daily Dad reminding you to try new things and to be happy.